side. And the cutting straight and sharp. Giannis hands. Up ahead, Neesmith. Blocked! Edwards getting up!
Avery Bradley with the deflection against Bang. Oh, the rim! What an incredible block! Cole Williams, the smallest guy on the floor, gets the rebound. James.
2 against the Southeast, 7-1 on the road against the Southeast.
When it comes to dunking, many elite dunkers have a few genetic advantages that take them to another level. And although it's not a deciding factor, it's important that you're aware of them so that when you're making comparisons, they're reasonable. Now, some of you may have these advantages, but if you don't, I'm going to give you some insight on how to level the playing field a little bit.
Sharp with the deflection. Now on the other end. Sharp hammers it down with the right hand.
So the first genetic advantage you're going to see amongst many, many dunkers is having very, very long arms. Me, myself, I have a very, very long wingspan. I'm 5'9". I believe my wingspan is about 6'2" or something like that. Obviously, your standing reach is the one that's going to affect your dunking. But just to give you perspective, you know, your wingspan is a huge advantage in your ability to pull off certain dunks. Every elite dunker, or I'll say majority of elite dunkers, have very long arms. You know, Jordan Sutherland, Isaiah Rivera, these are guys with super long arms and long legs. You know, the length of your legs help with your torque, and it's another advantage. So just having long limbs, more so long arms, is such a huge advantage. Allows you to pull off many dunks that people with the same vertical obviously cannot pull off, just because you got a significantly longer reach.
One of the things that the Milwaukee Bucks were so pleased and excited about with Giannis Antetokounmpo was the length of his Achilles tendon. They quoted that his tendon was 13.5 inches long, and while it makes sense because he's a big, tall guy, he's gonna have a longer tendon, they made a bunch of claims that this overall means he's a better athlete. So the
second advantage that many elite dunkers have is the length of your tendons. More so your Achilles tendon. Your Achilles tendon is going to be responsible for storing elastic energy, and the more you can store due to its length, the more you can return. So guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo and like super lanky guys usually have longer tendons, and that's gonna help them, you know, just jump higher and create more force, more energy. So these type of advantages are things that there's nothing you can do about it. Either you're born with it or not. You can't lengthen your Achilles tendon. You just gotta take it into consideration. There's some things that you can improve, and there's some things that you just
can't. Then 0 for 6. As he has it, spinning, in trouble. Oh, and he's limping, he's hurting. Kobe's hurting. And I don't know if he's gonna be able to continue. This might hurt him, but the Lakers down by 2, and they want him and need him at the free throw line. Got it.
Yeah, not backpedaling or whatever you have to do to get to the other end. If in fact he gets to the other end before a foul, maybe.
Made him. Lakers might foul. They might foul to get him out of the game.
Number 3, we're gonna go with injury resilience. Now, at the end of the day, everybody gets hurt. It's part of the process. When you're pushing your body to its limits and you're doing the best that you can, training hard, you're going to get hurt. You're going to have jumper's knee. You're going to have Achilles tendinopathy. You're going to have many things. But injury resilience more so speaks to your ability to train through injury, because at certain times you're going to have to train through injury. Obviously, you want to try to limit that, but you just can't have detrimental, catastrophic injuries that just take you out for long periods of time. If you're that type of player, you're kind of giving the short, you know, end of the stick when it comes to injuries. It's not about you getting hurt, more so you getting actually injured. Like if you break bones a lot, you know, you don't have that genetic advantage. It's gonna affect your training. You can't train on a broken foot, a broken leg, you know, certain things like that take you out. But if you have things like jumper's knee and things like that, those things are natural, but your ability to train through these injuries is more so the idea of injuries.
James Harden definitely had a pregame meal, averaging 17 points per game over the last 4.
The fourth thing is going to be your body composition. Now, body composition can obviously be changed and improved. So, you know, you can argue maybe it's not so much of a genetic advantage, but it's a small advantage only because if you're naturally very thin, very lean, it's a lot easier for you to stay thin and lean. It's just that simple, and it is an advantage in itself. If you have to struggle and use a lot of mental capacity just to get yourself lean, and it's an upward battle, like the entire process, it is draining, it does affect your performance. So It is a slight advantage. It is one of the weaker advantages on this list, probably the weakest. But body composition, how lean you are when you start out, is somewhat of a genetic advantage.
In the corner, Brunson and Edwards. Edwards all over him. The fadeaway from Brunson won't go.
Now, the last advantage is an advantage that's not really spoken about too often, but it's definitely a huge advantage, and that's going to be your mental and your natural competitiveness. Me personally, when I train and I do dunk sessions, more specifically, I have an issue with energy. I have an issue with getting up and mentally taking myself to a place where I need to get up and dunk. But if I'm in the right atmosphere, if I'm in the right environment, I can dunk with ease. If I have people watching me, I can dunk with ease. If I'm in game, I can dunk way easier. And that just speaks to my competitiveness more so than my ability to perform. So you can argue it's an disadvantage when I'm by myself, but when it comes time to perform and it comes time to dunk, where I actually need to dunk is in game, it's an advantage. And a lot of people just don't have the mental capacity or the mental ability to visualize themselves, maybe seeing themselves dunk and competing at a high level, giving it all of their energy. Competitiveness is definitely a genetic factor. I think it's pretty clear that some people are just born a lot more competitive than others. Some people are very meek and they just don't compete very hard. And I have a friend who, he doesn't compete very hard, but he's a gifted guy. He just doesn't compete, and because of that, he definitely does not perform to the best of his abilities. But those are my 5 genetic factors, my 5 genetic advantages for elite dunkers. Now, it's not something that you need to dwell on. It's not something that you need to think about. The good thing about vertical jump is, unlike sprinting, you can start from anywhere and you make a very big difference in your vertical jump, whether you have advantages or not. So you can get a 40-inch vertical if you train hard and you do your best. Like, a lot of people, if you are super slow to begin with, you're not gonna get super fast by the time you're done your training. Like, sprinting is a whole different ballgame. But when it comes to vertical jump, there are ways to significantly increase your vertical, whether or not you have these advantages. And that's the beauty in vertical jump. Now, in terms of leveling out the playing field, I do have a video that will be dropping in the near future, and it's going to be basically on the most efficient way to a 40-inch vertical. And I'm going to let you know how to plan out your programming, how to go about your programming, and how to go about the entire process, what you do from before programming, what you do during the program, what you do after the program, just to help you be the most efficient, waste no time in your journey, and help you to get a 40-inch vertical as soon as possible. I'm Jiggy Hills, and if you like this video, hit the like. If you like me, hit the subscribe. And if you got a question, just comment below. And I'm out, bro.